الله الرحمن الرحيم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على سيد المرسلين وإمام المتقين ورحمة الله للعالمين سيدنا ومولانا وحبيبنا وشفيعنا محمد صلى الله تعالى عليه وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد زينة عرشك ورضا نفسك ومداد كلماتك، صلاة ترضيك وترضيه وترضى بها عنا مولانا رب العالمين. اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. الحمد لله. With Allah's blessing subhanahu wa ta'ala, the barakah of Sayyidina Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, we've been blessed tonight to be together to learn more about our beautiful religion of Islam. And the best way to learn about Islam is through respected ulamas whom they understood the Holy Quran, the Sunnah of Sayyidina Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. As we know, and others of you know, every day we recite any number of times Surah Al-Fatiha, and in Surah Al-Fatiha we used to say اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم. Allah, guide us to the straight path, the path of those who will be guided by you, the prosperous, the king, and the many, those who will be blessed. So, by following their path and their teaching, we will reach inshallah. Sayyidina Imam Al-Shafi'i radiallahu anhu, we have said very nice saying. He said, ما أفلح من أفلح إلا بصحبة من أفلح. Nobody will be prosperous unless he follow the prosperous one. By suhbah, reading, studying, and those people, the ulama, the great alims of our time of, for example, Sayyidina Imam Shafi'i, Sayyidina Imam Abu Hanifa, Sayyidina Imam Al-Nawawi, Sayyidina Imam Al-Ghazali, Sayyidina Sheikh Al-Jailani, Sayyidina Imam Al-Hamdan, those people, the greatest ulama. Nowadays, nobody can be in the same knowledge of them. With all the technology we have, computers, and books, and the environment, because there is something missing, which is very important. The most important thing missing in our study, which is al-ikhlas, sincerity. I can be sincere for 1 day, 2 days, 1 month, but not always. And I will work always to my benefit, to my group benefit, to my country benefit. But those people have worked for the benefit of our nation. Allah they used to work with ikhlas, and they have put on their mind the benefit of all community. So that is something I think easy to say, maybe you can say, but to practice is very difficult, very difficult. So among these ulama, greatest alim, most influential Islamic scholar and the Islamic world, which used to be called Hujjatul Islam wal Muslimin, the proof of Islam and Muslimin, Al-Imam Sayyidina Abi Hamid Al-Ghazali radiallahu anhu. I think it's very necessary for us to know something about him in a brief. What Imam Al-Ghazali, his life. The one, the alim, who have left treasure of knowledge. He has over 400 books, so much of letters, small books. But I think most of you knows very well his book, Ihya Ulumuddin. That was one of the books which he wrote at the last stage of his life, when he got back to his hometown in Tus. The revival of the religious knowledge, Ihya Ulumuddin. And this book, especially in particular, been translated to many languages and used to the teaching of this book is everywhere in the world. And many people are really influenced by the writings of Imam Al-Ghazali, in particular also the non-Muslims. They used to read the books of Imam Al-Ghazali, found many of them, thousands, I can say millions of them converted to Islam because of Allah number one, and after that the teaching, the true teaching of Sayyidina Imam Al-Ghazali radiallahu anhu. So in brief, Sayyidina Imam Al-Ghazali, he was born at the year 450 after Hijrah, which is 1058 AD. At the village of Tabrin, which is in Tus, they call it Khorasan. That is in Iran nowadays. Those days Persian they call it. Iran just recent. But those days they call Bilal Faris. And for your information, so much of ulama of this ummah came from that land. Not they originally, it's not need to be their origin from there, but they migrated to that land. You know, Persia before is a great empire, and they have so much of facilities. And when Islam entered to Persia, all of them became Muslim. It continued the knowledge. So from there, many ulamas from that part of the world and from Central Asia, from Asia, many ulamas came, including Imam Al-Bukhari from Bukhara, Imam Muslim. Many of them, many ulamas came from that land, Central Asia, from Asia. So Imam Al-Ghazali, his father, he was born in Rus, 450. And I want to ask you a question. You think how many years you have lived with Imam Al-Ghazali? He passed away with all these books and knowledges and ilm. You think at what age he passed away? He passed away at the year 505 after Hijrah, which means his age 55 years only. 55 years only. When he passed away, with all these knowledges, you can say that he spent all his life in studying with a little bit of resting, while we spend most of our life in resting and a little bit of studying. So this is enough comparison to understand the sincerity between both. Throughout his life, from the beginning, he was brought up in a good environment. His father, they are two brothers, Muhammad Al-Ghazali, which is our Imam Abi Hamid Al-Ghazali, and his brother Ahmad Al-Ghazali. Before the father passed away, he handed over them to somebody, one alim, local alim, at their town, to teach them in the traditional madrasa. And Imam Al-Ghazali was so intelligent and so smart that he became a teacher to the students, and he was the youngest at their age. He's younger than all of them. But because it's brilliant that the Sheikh, that madrasa, if you go out anywhere, you say, "Ya Muhammad, you in charge, you are on behalf of me." After After that, they found that that city, it's for Imam Al-Ghazali, it's become like nothing. The knowledge is not there. Then, in fact, there is one incident happened in his life that also changed him and made him asking for knowledge. Go and travel seeking knowledge. He used to write a lot. And he had a notebook with him. Someone said something, he would write immediately. He would write because, not a lot for him not to forget. So he write. The Sheikh, whatever say, he write very fast. And the students, if they want to learn something, remember something, they know that Al-Ghazali has everything is written. One day he was in a travel, and the thieves came to the caravan, the group traveling, he was with them, and they stole everything, including his small bag. And in that bag is his books. He used to carry his books always, anywhere with him. His notes, like we carry with us our credit card, or cash, or passport. His cash, his passport, his thing is his knowledge, his books. Your identity, that is my identity, my books. So somehow he stole everything from him, including his bag. And when he know what happened, he was running, chasing them, behind them. Please, the thieves. So they reached very far, and then he came, he was, so young. So they said, why you follow us? He said, please give me my bag. There's nothing in this bag worth. It's only my books. I'm a student in a school. So what you are going to do with this bag? It's only my notes. So the chief of the thieves looked to the bag, threw it to him, said, take it. But I want to ask you, if you lost your books, that means you have lost your knowledge. By losing your book, that means you are losing also your knowledge. What type of knowledge is this? And you depend on your books. That words of the thief affected, it has its strong impact in the hearts of Imam Al-Ghazali. Yeah, what knowledge is this? What should I study? And why I'm too weak that if I lose my books, I lost my knowledge. What type of knowledge I have to learn that it has to be with me all the time? And start thinking. Looks like the words of the thief brought to him good words of hikmah. However, from that day, he was really, all the knowledge he has, he started working furthermore to get more knowledge. And then, because his name was known to many people, and somehow he got named, he traveled to Naysabur, which is a very great city also there in Persia. And then, where he studied under many scholars, and he met one of the great scholars in Islam. His name Al-Imam Al-Jailani. They call him Imam Al-Haramain. The Imam of Haramain, Mecca and Medina. Al-Imam Al-Jailani, one of the greatest ulama. So, Al-Imam Al-Ghazali remained with him by being with a great alim. Everyone will know about him. Because great alim, not anyone can get through his knowledge. Great scholar. And Imam Al-Ghazali continued being with Imam Al-Jailani till Imam Al-Jailani passed away. But they know that Al-Ghazali looks like he's the one to go over. But that is not what Imam Al-Ghazali wants. He don't want position. But at that time, after the passing away of the Imam Al-Jailani, he traveled to Baghdad. Baghdad was the center of knowledge. It was its golden time of Islam, the capital of Islam. Too much of ulamas and intellectual environment. so much of alims, different types of arts, of knowledge. When he entered to Baghdad, he been ordered after that at the age of 27 to be the, at the age of 33, to be the first principal to a very famous school which is called Al-Madrasa Al-Nizamiyya in Baghdad. There are 3 Madrasa Al-Nizamiyya, one in Baghdad, one in Damascus, and one in Tus. Why they call it Al-Nizamiyya? There is a minister at that time, his name Imam Al-Mulk. Imam Al-Mulk. Imam Al-Mulk was a very good minister and in charge of education. And he said, "My father Imam Al-Ghazali is a very influential person." So he said, "Look, I don't find anyone will benefit the people more than you. So you have to be the principal of Al-Madrasa Al-Nizamiyya." He remained in Baghdad for years. Of course, this Madrasa Al-Nizamiyya still exists till now in Baghdad. Alhamdulillah, I graduated from that school. It's a secondary school now. But it's not teaching only one, not only just teaching all types of knowledge. Well, Allah's barakah, studied at that school. And it's one of the most famous and popular schools till now in Baghdad, alhamdulillah. Then, after that, said that Imam Al-Ghazali didn't want to stay in Baghdad. That is the trouble of the seekers of knowledge, the seekers of knowledge. It's not enough for them to be in one place. Because everything will be done for them is normal. Plus, Imam Al-Ghazali, he was to see, he don't want to be, let's say, too famous, and the people will be around him, praising him. That is not what he wants. He don't want people to praise him, Ya Sheikh, Ya Sultan al-Arifin, he don't want this. They are not seekers of names, they are seekers of knowledge. The knowledge of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the most important also, we know that day at Tasawwuf, Sufism, it was the general knowledge, it was the most popular and famous knowledge. Many ulama, Al-Arifin, Al-Ulama, Batam al-Hasan al-Basri, Malik bin Dinar, Al-Junayd al-Baghdadi, all these ulama. So, and after that also influenced by, as any knowledge in this world, by extreme wing and by other, and because it's a spiritual, it's telling us how to purify our soul by using a Sharia, not out of the boundaries of Sharia, have to be within the borders of Sharia, but we know how to cook that food, meaning someone gave you ingredients. These ingredients, you have many types of food you can make, not only one color. But you need to know how much to put salt, how much to put, not to make it too hot, too much chili. So that is the knowledge also like that. You have to understand the people, to know what they think, what type of knowledge they should study gradually, and also how to be influenced in terms of teaching them the knowledge which is going to protect them, and also teaching them the most important thing, essentiality. Al-Imam Al-Ghazali was one of those greatest alims who secured at-tasawwuf by the Sharia. So in his book Ihya Ulumuddin, you can see he writes, for example, the secrets of Hajj. He writes about Hajj, fiqh, what is Hajj, according to fiqh, Tawaf, this, Arafah, going to Mina, going to Muzdalifah, then Tawaf al-Ifadah, and then in the meantime, he will take about the secrets of Hajj. What is the meaning of Hajj? Why Tawaf? Why? So he will make you fly in a sky of khushu', make you understand something different. That's why many people being influenced by Ihya Ulumuddin. So that was the time for Imam Al-Ghazali to work hard to secure this knowledge and tasawwuf, because he was one of the greatest Sufi, radiallahu anhu. So he worked hard, and he didn't stay in this place. He got to Syria, Damascus, where he remained for 2 years to spend 2 years in solitude, solitude, halwa, we call it. And one of the very interesting things about him during that period, the people know the Imam Al-Ghazali, but when they think about the Imam Al-Ghazali who's named everywhere, they will think, how is he looks like, what he wears, how big his imamah, how many khadim and servants around him. They will think that the people maybe they keep just to kiss his hand. They will maybe like it is Imam Al-Ghazali. But you know, Imam Al-Ghazali, one day, he was coming out from a minaret. There is a minaret where he used to stay there night and read and zikir, whatever. And he came down for 5-time prayer to pray and go back. One day he was coming down, and this group of alims arguing something, fiqh or in Sharia or whatever. So they argue, but there is no solution. They no way to come out from this argument. So he came to them, he was listening behind. He said, Assalamu alaikum. He said, can I give you an opinion of ulama in this mas'ala? Can I offer that? He said, who are you to? They look to his cloth. They didn't look to his knowledge because they cannot see his basira. They just look to him. Why you hear ulama talking? Why you to talk? It's like someone when you see a book, the jilid, nicely done, nicely made, mashallah, this must be a very good book. Why? Because who say maybe inside there is so much. And that's nowadays, printing nice book, people think it's also contains nice books. That's why the knowledge, whoever got his knowledge by reading books, he will misguide the people. Like there's a group of people asking people, you depend only hadith or Quran and hadith only. So that means you're asking people to go and read hadith Bukhari, Sahih Bukhari or Sahih Muslim by their own selves. Is that correct? They don't know what the meaning of Nasukh wal Mansukh, Asbab al-Furud. This ilm al-hadith we call it. It's knowledge by itself. And people have spent all their lives, they don't finish it. Al-ulama al-mu'tabarin, the respected ulama, they are the one that brought the nectar of knowledge for us. Sayyidina Abu Hanifa radiallahu anhu, Imam Abu Hanifa, he traveled all the way from Baghdad to Egypt, to Cairo, to search of one hadith. This hadith, whether it's hadith da'if, sahih, or weak hadith da'if. How long it took from him to travel? 1 month, and he remained there. How long to come back? Just for one hadith or one incident. Nowadays, what I want from me, only thing, if I want to know the knowledge, I need internet connection and computer. That's all. And I found it. But with this thing, when I found it, I don't know whether it's correct or not. Not anyone who talks nice that means he's knowledgeable. As a book is not all the books looks like it's good books. Not anyone also talk nice. And he has a magic in his speech that means he's alim. That's something very important. The one who is alim is the one who follows the steps of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He follows the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That's why he is the one who carried the from darkness to the nur as Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to do, by following his steps of the lives. So Imam Al-Ghazali, when they said that to him, they said, who are you? He said, well, I am not alim. I am talib al-ilm. I am a seeker of knowledge. But I hear from ulama. I used to hear from ulama. So I found it is not, not that bad for you to listen. He said, okay. Say, no. He started talking, explaining to them, until he have reached with them to the level that they cannot understand anymore what he's saying. Too high for them. start talking to each other. He says, SubhanAllah, this person, same way, same style of Imam Al-Ghazali. We have not seen him, but I don't think so. Someone said, Ya Masaki, he is Imam Al-Ghazali. He is Imam Al-Ghazali. He wear very simple clothes, very simple, because you don't want to hide himself by wearing nice clothes and so much of it. That is his way. And then he go back. At that time, because of knowledge was very, very sense of knowledge, who entered to the field? The philosophers. They start putting their books, and we have great alims in the Ummah that they're very intelligent. They would like to know, they would like to read. So when they start reading the books of philosophers, it's made a revolution in their knowledge. So there is different types of argument, where different new types of knowledge came at that time, like Ilmul Kalam and other. There's something maybe you won't realize it now, because that's history gone, but that is how the knowledge came to us, nectar. There's so much of war for that knowledge till, when like for someone, he said this seed going to be a fruit one day. You don't know how this seed going to be a fruit. You look after it, you put whether the seed grow, become tree, the tree give fruits, and then you just buy it from the market. But you don't know how it reached to you. The farmer used to be, how much spent all his life, his wares, his family, just for this fruits to come to you in a cheap price. So the ulama at that time, all these ulama, there's a war between right and wrong, and batil and haq, till the knowledge came to us, nectar, pure, alhamdulillah, protected. The books, Imam Sayyid Al-Bukhari spent all his life to combine all hadith of Rasulullah in one book, which is Sahih Al-Bukhari. How long took from him? All his life till he became blind. But he saw Rasulullah in his dream, and he said, Rasulullah, so subhanAllah, the sign came back to him. The Imam Muslim, Imam Ahmad, all of them been told, till they brought this knowledge to us. They're the ulamas of the Ummah. So don't want anyone, someone one day to say, Al-Bukhari is wrong here, or Abu Hanifa he said, or Shafi. When you talk like this, you're not talking about his knowledge at that point, but you're talking about his life. You are criticizing his life. And then, remember something, one day you will be in front of him in a judgment day. You can say this mas'ala means thing, but do not criticize the alims and their names in a bad way, na'udhu. That is not the way of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, not the way of ulamas, and not the way of good Muslims as well. So, at that time, this knowledge was a big argument between all these types of groups. Imam Al-Ghazali, he made something very, very, very glad that all the Ummah is really indebted to him. He written 2 books. One book in philosophy, one book Tahafut al-Tahafut. I don't know how to translate this in English. Anyways, in philosophy, he made all these philosophers come to him to think that he is for them the most knowledgeable man. They trusted him. Then after that, he written the second book, which is Tahafut al-Falasifa, they call it, where he destroyed all their knowledge. So he protected Islam from all unwanted and germs and viruses, knowledges to enter. Alhamdulillah, he's secure. That's why they call him Hujjatul Islam. You know what the Hujjatul Islam, the approval of Islam? If I say to you, you have to pray in this way. You say, why? You say, because Allah said, Bismillah ar-Rahman, Quran. So you have to say, I surround myself. If I say to you, okay, you have to do this also, you say, okay. Why? Because Rasulullah said in this hadith, I surround myself. And if you say something, I said to you, you have to do so. Why? Because Imam Al-Ghazali said, okay, I surround myself. So that's how, subhanAllah, if they say Imam Al-Ghazali said, everyone will listen. Call him the approval of Islam. Sayyidina Imam Al-Ghazali, he protected Islam. Don't think so anyone can do that at that time. The influence of, he was working as an antivirus. Free. Antivirus you buy for your computer, but free this one, and because the same company sometimes produce virus, so you buy from them. Imam Al-Ghazali protected the Ummah without they asking for it. For the virus to influence their knowledge, to influence their religion, but they're going to meet Allah one day. So Alhamdulillah, with Allah's barakah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Imam Al-Ghazali was one of the top ulamas, and his name, his books, it was approved by all the ulamas of the Ummah. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. So, till he, after that he go back to his country, to Tus, where he remained there, and he passed away radiallahu anhu at the year 505, 14th Jamad al-Thani, on Monday 14th Jamad al-Thani, radiallahu ta'ala. So this is in brief. I just want before we enter to our book, one of the most important books, and you'll find a very good knowledge in this book, which is a letter to a disciple. Some of them they call advice to a son. In fact, the book is what? A student of his, of Imam Al-Ghazali, one of his murids, one of his students. He wrote to Imam Al-Ghazali a letter to say, Ya Imam, you know that there is Ihya Ulumuddin, but he's asking him to write for him in brief, summary. Something from Ihya Ulumuddin, something from the knowledge of Imam Al-Ghazali, that will benefit me. Like, I cannot be like you, and Islam is very difficult, so give me something that I can refer to always. Small book, whenever I want to refer to anything. So, Imam Al-Ghazali is a book of advices, and how to do here, how to be good. And there's a book, you see, too small. But the knowledge it has is great, subhanAllah. So I think all of us will be benefited, inshallah, from this book. And end of the book, and inshallah, we hope that Allah bless us the istiqamah to continue together, to study the book together till we finish, and all of you will get the ijazah of this book, inshallah. Bi-idhnillah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So that will be the first book for you to study, Imam Al-Ghazali, and it will be followed by one more book, inshallah, so that you can connect yourself with the chain of knowledge of Sayyidina Imam Al-Ghazali radiallahu anhu, inshallah. And that will be big barakah, because you're connecting yourself with his knowledge and with his spirit as well, inshallah. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم. وبإذن الله سبحانه وتعالى we are going to do that, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless us to continue to do that every month. Inshallah, tonight before we leave, we are going to decide together our next session, inshallah, so that everybody knows, and order for us also to continue in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Anyway, let us read something for what time is it? Isha? Is that already? So we stop, or shall we stop, or how? We have just another few minutes. Okay. The first advice, when Imam Al-Ghazali received this letter from his murid, his student, about his request, he said to him something very important, and you have to put this in your mind and in your heart all the time. This advice is brilliant advice. One line of advice. He said, "Oh my son, giving advice is very easy, but following it is difficult." Understand? It's very important. If you seek advice of someone, easy. But are you going to follow the advice? Yani if you ask about the hukum of any mas'ala, any issue, if you ask about the hukum and the alim give you advice, give you the reply, are you going to follow it? Before you don't know about the answer, it's a problem. But when you know the answer, it's double problem. The problem becomes twice. So better for you to be jahil instead of asking, knowing the answer, and then you. And we find it very easy, but following it is difficult. And we find this in our life all the time. The most important advice for all of us, as people who want, as a believer who wants to reach to the next life with Allah's support and Allah's help, reach to the second life with acceptance, is for us to get benefit from the advices. And the best advice which Al-Ghazali did mention here at the beginning of his answer, his reply. He said, a sign that Allah has turned away from a man is his involvement in things that do not benefit him. And for a man who lets an hour of his life go by things other than the service of his Creator, for which he was created, or that was created for him, the prolongation of his anguish is appropriate, and who reaches the age of 40 and the good in him does not outweigh his evil, he should be prepared to meet the hellfire. And in this there is a plentiful advice for people of knowledge, meaning you have not to waste your time, your day and night after being given you from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You should not waste it, because if you keep wasting your life day and night, weeks and months, years and years, when you're going to reach after that to a level, the warning will start at the age of 40. That's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned about the age of 40. Because this is the top of al-bulugh. His brain, his figure is now at the top, at the peak. After that, start going down. So we are growing till the age of 40, and after that, you consider the youth to say goodbye to your youth and welcome to my old age. But nowadays the people also the age of 50 or 55, the two times. Someone is saying, you're still young, others say, see, 50 already, you are old. So it depends the way we are looking to the life. Glass of water. Now this water there in the glass, there is half water and the half is empty. Someone will say, oh, there is half empty. But someone say, but there is half, there is water also still. If you're going to use your life before 40, when 40 comes, after that, you already secured yourself with knowledge. So what is after is not to go to primary school at the age of 40, waiting for your secondary. Now you have to finish, supposed to go to finish college. So by wasting our time, we forgot the greatest advice of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Holy Quran, when He always said, wal-asri, part of the day, wal-layl, by the night, wal-duha, this part of the day, not the morning, wal-fajr, subuh time. But He swore subhanahu wa ta'ala by part of the day, part of the night. But you never read a single ayah in the Holy Quran Allah said, وَالْيَوْمِ, by the day. Part of the day, saying that part of your day is very, very important for you to deliver something for your next life. If you're going to lose the full day, is a big loss in fact. When one day, when you go to your bed, before you sleep, and you have one book just under your pillow, you write this book, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock morning, is till now, what you have done, 6 questions, 7, nothing. This one, 8 o'clock, now, nothing. This one, lunchtime, this one, tea time, this one, smoking time, this one, this time. Then you find yourself, the whole day, maybe you have not used 1 hour. For one day, 24 hours, that is in your daily life. But how about your contribution or your as Allah's servant subhanahu wa ta'ala, what you have given to him? يعني سيدنا نبي آدم عليه السلام, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent him off from Jannah because of one sin, single sin. And we want to enter Jannah with lots of sins. The difference here is, I have sought Allah Rahim, alhamdulillah, yeah, but is that nice? The one who deals with you with rahmah, generosity, is that your way to repay? That's how we deal with Allah. Nobody, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgives. I've done nothing anyway. Allah ghafura. This was misusing his rahmah. And for those who they have got the knowledge, they study and doing nothing. It's like someone who has a sword, but he never uses a sword. So when he is troubled in the jungle and when there is lion attack him, he don't know how to use a sword. Not to have a sword is not enough. You have to be a fighter to know how to use a sword. Otherwise, nothing. So the knowledge to benefit you, and the knowledge not going to benefit you. That's one issue. The other issue, wasting life with nothing. There is hadith, athar, saying that most of the inheritors of Jahannam, na'udhu may Allah protect us all, the inheritors of Jahannam, most of their screaming because of one word, I will do, I'm going to. Sawfa. I'm coming to do, but no. So they screaming in Jahannam because of this word. Ya Allah, because of I'm going to this word. Wasting time. Alas. It's like the story, we used to see this cartoon, the tortoise and the rabbit. The rabbit was just lying down, very slow, At the end of the day, he have reached and he lost. His power, his legs, doing nothing for him. So, each day you go believing is a big loss. Don't say you are growing, you are losing. That day won't come back again. And then, Al-Jahannam, na'udhu billah, as in the Holy Quran, they will say, قَالَ رَبِّ ارْجِعُونَ, Ya Allah, let me go back to the life. Allow me to go for one day. Sayyidina Imam Al-Ghazali here said, Ya Mishki, you just came from the life. You just came from this life for 6 years. You spend your life, what you are going to do with it one day? And if someone says, I want to go, what you are going to do? Sayyidina Ibn Abbas, radiyallahu anhu, after he passed away, Sahaba, Abdullah ibn Abbas, Rasulullah's cousin, his auntie, Rasulullah's wife, Al-Mukarramah, after he passed away, they saw him in the dream, one of his very close friends of his. He said, how are you, Ibn Abbas? He said, Alhamdulillah, I'm very fine. Then he asked him, do you have any wish? He said, yes, I do have a wish. What is your wish? He said, I wish that if Allah allows me to come back to your life, this life, hayat dunya. He said, what for? He said, in order for me to pray 2 rak'ah, sunnah only. 2 rak'ah. Just to come back to the life. Why? He found the benefit and the blessing of salat in next life great, that he wished to come back to pray, but no. Now we are in this life. I don't know how long we are going to waste our time, our salat, our fasting, salat, exercise, fast, breakfast, hajj, picnic, this. So, it's a problem. It's misusing the gift, the time. And Sayyidina Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, in hadith, he said, use 5 things before 5 things comes. One of them, he said, your youth before your old age. Your youth. I remember my grandfather, Allah yarham. He saw my son. My son, name Abdul-Qadir, Afeefuddin bin Abdul-Qadir bin Mansuruddin. So Sayyid Mansuruddin, he saw his, not his grandson, the son of his grandson. He was just running, saying, who is this? I said, this is Abdul-Qadir. He said, how come your father is named Abdul-Qadir and he called his son also Abdul-Qadir? I said, no, that is my son. He said, Allahu Akbar, Allah give me long life to see the children of my the children of my grandchildren. But you know what he said? He said something very interesting. Do you know something? That day his age about 95 years. 95. He said, you know something? I remember exactly when I was at his age. Looks like yesterday. And we used to say, he said to me, I used to say, how long are we going to go? But looks like it's gone within 1 minute. He was telling me, he said, I was at his age about 2 years. He said, I remember very well at his age. So I said, the question, what you have done at this age? So for us, don't think, I am now 30 or 40, till 70 have 30. No. By thinking like that, who will interfere? Al-Shaytan. Yes. Maulana, inshallah, no problem, don't worry. Is that, you can't, why are you going today? No, don't go to masjid tomorrow, inshallah. You have your friend, call him, he's not around. So you're supposed to go with him to salah, then leave it tomorrow when you find him. SubhanAllah, after that you have lost 1 day, 2 days, 1 week, or Majlis ta'lim. Now, when you start any classes, when you want to learn, anything for you to go ahead and to elevate your situation, to go up in your terms of knowledge, being close to Allah, to understand more about your prayer, to understand more about your feelings, your spiritual feelings, Al-Shaytan will try to keep you away from it. So maybe next classes, or any class you're having in this message, or any other one, you say, this month, I think, if you go and read the book, maybe someone who attend the class, he can inform you. And then say, he will try with you, subhanAllah, all the way. He will try to keep you away from progressing. But if there is something doubtful, you find there's something pushing you to it. That is the nafsul ammara bis-su'. The nafsu pushing for, for the bad, and there is al-lawwama. There's a fight inside you. Fight. Which one going to win? End of the day, you find when you are writing these notes, I have lost the war. Last time, yesterday. So next day, inshallah, tomorrow I will do my business to them. Then next day when you're sitting, I have lost the war again. How long will you keep losing? Till, you know what? Shaytan have things to do for you. Ghafla, nisyan, i'raf. In Quran, Allah uses words. Ghafla, heedless. Nisyan, forgetful. You don't remember. Slowly the sickness increasing. Until it becomes i'rab. When someone says, Fulan doesn't, oh, I don't want. We reach to that level. Slowly, flu develop to something else, then become sickness which is not cure. So we don't want to reach to that level. We've been given the life to enjoy. رَبَّنَا آتِنَا فِي الدُّنْيَا حَسَنًا وَفِي الْآخِرَةِ وَقِنَا عَذَابَ النَّارِ. So we have to use this life for the goodness of this life and for the goodness of hereafter. Do not make it رَبَّنَا آتِنَا فِي الدُّنْيَا حَسَنًا وَفِي الدُّنْيا حَسَنًا. This one you're going to be loser all the time. If you try your best to graduate yourself, now we spend about almost one maximum 1.5 hours. Alhamdulillah. But this one, Majlis Muzakara, Majlis Ilm, at Allah's house, the best knowledge, dhikrullah, at the best place at Allah's house. What do you think your reward going to be? But if you sit at your house, once a month maybe you attend. If you sit at your house, what you going to do? TV? Argument. Hey boy, don't go on this one. Argument, nothing. And where I find ourselves sleep early. Tomorrow is so. This is very important for us, dear brothers and sisters. We try our best, inshallah, to be as Allah wants us to be. To be from those who they're going to say and they're going to practice. Because Allah loves them, subhanahu wa ta'ala. To be from those who they attend all these majalis, tazkirah, and their name going to be written in the special book by Allah, Talibi al-Alim. متعلمين. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَلَيْسَ لِلْإِنسَانِ إِلَّا مَا سَعَى. There is nothing going to be reserved for the human unless accept what they have done, what they work for. So these things one of them we work for, inshallah. We pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless us with the barakah in our time, to use our time in a way that our wealth halal going to increase, our knowledge for our iman going to increase, our barakah for our life going to increase, our children, our families, their knowledge, their blessing, their life, the happiness for them going to be increased, inshallah. Pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Ya Allah, we want to be a good believers, a pious people. We used to hear of the greatest names of ulamas. Ya Allah, bless us to follow their path, to reach to what they have reached, to taste the delicious food of your nearness, as they have tasted before. Bless us, Ya Allah, to quench our thirst with a drink of being good servants to you. Let us, Ya Allah, be among those whom they going to follow the straight path, and ask others, guide others to follow the straight path, inshallah. Let us be a good example for our children, good example for our brothers and sisters. And let us, Ya Allah, be the followers of the greatest example, which is Sayyidina Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Bless us all with iman and taqwa. Bless us with shukr for all your blessings, with sabr if there is any hardship. Bless us all to accompany our salihin. Bless us all to read the things which are going to benefit us in dunya and akhirah. Protect us from the evil deeds. Protect us from the evil of our own self, and from the evil of religion, inshallah, wa shayateen. Ya Allah, bless all of our sisters and brothers with sahah wal afiyah wal barakah fi dunya wal akhirah bi rahmatika ya arhamar rahimin. Allahumma inna nas'aluka ridhaka wal jannah wa na'udhu bika min sakhatika wan nar. Allahumma ij'alna rabbana li adaika min adh-dhakirin, li na'maika min ash-shakirin, waj'alna min as-salihin al-muta'allimin. انفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما ينفعنا واجعلنا برحمتك في عبادك الصالحين. اللهم اغفر للمسلمين والمسلمات المؤمنين والمؤمنات الأحياء منهم والأموات إنك سميع قريب مجيب الدعوات. اللهم فرج كرب المكروبين ونفس هم المهمومين واقض الدين عن المدينين، شاف مرضانا وعاف مبتلانا وسلم احيانا، بارك اللهم في ارزاقنا، بارك لنا في ازواجنا وذرياتنا، ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب، ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار، ربنا هب لنا من أزواجنا وذرياتنا قرة أعين واجعلنا للمتقين إماما، ارحمنا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين، ارحمنا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين، وأوصل اللهم ثواب الفاتحة إلى عظمة النبي المصطفى سيدنا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وآله وأصحابه ومن والعلماء والعاملين والمشايخ والصالحين وإلى روح سيدنا الإمام أبي حامد الغزالي. الفاتحة.